sure that I am actually live. Okay. Is it going? It is going. Alright. So I don't really have a plan today. We're just gonna paint some random stuff. I've got these little 3 of these little coffin charms left that I still haven't painted. I got these to paint and they're super cute, so I am definitely ordering more of those. And then I still need to paint the background on here. Oh no, I forgot to get a water cup. I have to get a water cup. I am eternally unprepared for my own streams. Okay, 1 second. My dark purple. I'm gonna need to mix a color for the background because I don't have one pre-made that I like. But I'm gonna do this one last because I need to do multiple coats on these. So I'm gonna start with these. The heck? Oh, okay. It was just... Oh, it was probably gesso from the canvas. Okay. I got a new black mat, which works a little bit better, I think, for painting lighter colors. And my brightness on my camera is a little too high, so let's see if I can get that a little better. That's probably pretty good. Okay. So I'm gonna do the little bottom bits first because they're just gonna get painted boring white. Actually, on second thought, because I was planning on doing these in like Halloween-y colors, I have a minty green, pastel purple, and a pastel orange. Maybe it would be better if I did them gray. So, let me... Do I want to use my pre-made gray or do I want to mix a gray? I don't remember how light my pre-made gray is. Anything left in my light gray? Let's see. Oh, I need to clean my palettes. This is... Look at these. This is so bad. This one's okay. Look at that one. And that one. Why do I keep putting dirty palettes back in the drawer? That one's good. And these two are good. Yuck. Okay. So this one is dark. Let me see how light this one is. Maybe this is the right color. Yeah. That should be okay. Alright, so we'll use some of this. And just get myself myself a nice little fill brush. So this is just going to be more of a chill stream today, because I didn't really want to plan anything. And then I woke up and my allergies were attacking my eyeballs. They're very red and kind of gross, so I don't even want to be on camera. So we'll just do some chill painting today. And I'm not really going to worry about getting mess on the bottom here just yet. I'll worry about that when I put the top color on. But I'm pretty sure that it'll cover that, because this isn't like a super dark gray. I think my music might be a little loud too, so hopefully that's better. Alright, I'm going to set that one down to dry. So I just want to do the base coat on these, and then while I'm letting that dry, I can mix the color to do the background on my canvas. And then we'll come back and we'll put the second coat of gray on. And this is a pretty nicely pigmented paint, so I think 2 coats should be good. So then once I let that second coat dry, we can paint the tops. These are going to be so cute. I really should have ordered more than 3, but I ordered them from Temu, and I wasn't sure what Temu was like at the time, so I only ordered 1 pack just because I didn't know if I was going to get like really roughly carved pieces that were going to need a lot of work to make them usable, or if they would come out, or if they would come and they would be ready to paint, and really they are ready to paint. I mean, there's some spots that are a little bit rough, but I mean, I think that just makes them look a little bit more natural and organic. So I don't mind it. Some people might mind it. I don't mind it. Honestly, I'm just happy that I can afford craft supplies, because everything there is super cheap, and it's not crap quality. It is like they have name brand stuff on there, which is weird, and I didn't expect it to ship and actually be like name brand stuff. I thought it would be like AliExpress kind of knockoff stuff, but I was looking into it more, and it seems like what Temu is just factory direct ordering, which, I mean, there are shops on AliExpress that are basically just factory direct ordering too, but they're kind of harder to find. And I think it kind of seems like Temu is mostly just that, where you're ordering from the actual manufacturers in bulk, At least the shops that I have bought from, because most of the stuff that I did buy in bulk. So it seems like what it is wholesaling, and you're just skipping buying things at the actual craft stores by buying them wholesale from the individual sellers who would be wholesaling them to craft stores anyway. I mean, I don't want to get into ethics of Temu and everything, because there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Like, that's just a fact. If you're buying something from a store, it's coming from the exact same factories, except that the people selling it are taking most of the money and not necessarily giving it to the people who are making the stuff. So if you're buying directly from smaller shops overseas who are selling the exact same products, I mean, you're not really hurting anybody, is the way that I see it anyway. But, you know, to each their own. If you can afford to be choosy about where you spend your money, then you go ahead and do that. But I'm poor, and I'm just gonna buy where I can afford to buy. And anybody who wants to judge me for that, well, you're on the wrong channel. You know, I get less than $1,000 a month to live off of for being disabled, and you want to talk about ethics, well, that's pretty damn unethical. So I'm going to spend my money however I want, and I'm not going to be bothered by other people's judgments. I just want to make cute, spooky things. That's all I'm here for. Alright. That's base coats down. So, oops, why am I moving that? I need this. I meant to move these. I'll put them over to the side. Oh no, and now they're rolling and getting paint everywhere. That's why I got the mat though, so we're good. Okay, now I wanted to mix. I'm going to start completely at the other end because I want to mix actually two, what are these called on the palette? Two of those worth of paint, if that makes sense. Words are hard, man. I'm sleepy. Don't make me words. Oh, my camera, what is it doing? It doesn't know what to focus on because it's got black and white. Let me just hold this here for a minute. It's desperately trying to focus. Will you just let me do the thing? Okay. Oh my gosh, stop it. I'm trying to close some of my tabs because I'm getting the little red box on OBS again. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that's better. Alright, now what I want is a purple that's going to be sort of about halfway between these two. So I'm going to start dark and then work my way lighter, which is the exact opposite of how I usually do this, but I feel like that's going to be easier because the dark paint that I'm mixing is not a fully opaque paint. So I feel like I'm not going to need as much of it. or as much of the light one, I should say. I feel like I'm not going to need as much of the light one to lighten it up because of the opacity. Yeah, see, this is already starting out really light. So we're going to do that. I feel like this is still washing things out too much, so I'm gonna readjust my lighting again. Give me a second. There we go. Okay. Alright. That looks better. Yeah, that's more accurate. So, I actually am pretty happy with that color, so I'm going to try and get the same here in the one next to it. I did about that much purple and the rest lavender. And then I'm kind of going to mix the two together so that if there is any difference, it won't be super obvious. I feel like this second one isn't mixing. There we go. I just needed to scrape the side a little better. Now it's mixing just as well. Alright. Do a little of this. But Spooky, you're just making a big mess. I know I am. It's what I do best. Alright. There we go. Now I've got two little dimples with the same color on my palette. Break this one off here. Okay. Let me put one more coat on the mushrooms. And then while this last coat is drying on here, I will paint the background on my canvas. It's looking pretty solid, so I'm gonna say that that's probably the right number of coats on the gray. Probably had a little too much paint on my brush for this one. Let's do this. We'll just steal some of this paint for the last one. Whoopsies. I was just a little over enthusiastic, that's all. It's okay. Alright, get this all brushed nice and smooth. nice even coat on that one too. These are so cute. I'm definitely ordering more of these. I love them. And I haven't even done the tops yet. Okay, so that's number 3 down. Now I'm gonna need a bigger brush for this one. Oops, let me move my little jars of paint. My mat is not as big as I was hoping. That's probably... No, I'm not bright enough. There we go. Yeah, so I ordered the mat on Temu as well. I think it's probably the thing I'm least satisfied with, and I still really love it, so I'm not, you know, no regrets, but it's not as big as I was hoping. It did give measurements, I will say that. That's entirely on me that I was expecting it to be bigger, just because I am bad at interpreting measurements, even when they're right in front of me. It just doesn't cover as much of the table as I expected it to, but, you know. Oh yeah, this is a fun color. I like this. It's not quite as cool toned in person, but I even have like my yellow filtered light on right now, so I can't really get the color to show accurately. It's more of a warmer purple than I was expecting, because the dark one that I used to tone it is pretty cool toned, and the lavender is not cool toned, but it's also not like a really warm lavender. It's a pretty neutral lavender, so I'm surprised by this color on the canvas, but I like it. It's also, you can tell it's not super opaque, because it's primarily that dark purple, which is okay. As long as I get it opaque enough to cover the white bits, that's fine if I can still see the black through it. I was actually kind of hoping it would do that so that it would make it easier for me to paint the spider webs back on later. And I just did those with my paint pens because I just needed the lines on there, and I didn't make them super neat because I intended to paint over them. So when I do the final painting, I will do a much neater job. Or at least that's the plan. Who knows how it'll actually go. I may paint them sloppy as hell. Also, yeah, this is this is the biggest brush I have, so this is gonna take a minute here. It's fine. This is fine. It's a chill painting stream. It can take a while. I'm still debating. I think I'm gonna paint the inside purple too for now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna end up painting it black later, because when I put the skull back over it, I want it to be completely like hollowed out, except for the hole that I'm gonna cut for the LED candle to go behind it. So I don't know if that's going to look better with it being black or purple, but maybe it'll be okay purple. Also, I finally got that chunk out, and I've started to get these chunks out. I'm working on it slowly because this is really thick plastic to cut through. So it's pretty hard on my hands. But you can see I've kind of started to get this bit carved out here too, so I just have to get these last ones on the sides, and then carve out the rest of the nose, and then I can actually take the jaw apart fully and carve out the spaces between the teeth. So it's a slow process, but I mean, everything I do is slow. That's just, I work at a slower pace than most people, which is, you know, it's something that I try to always mention whenever I take commissions on things, because I feel bad when it takes forever, but generally I do put a lot of effort into everything that I make, so I feel like it's worth the wait. Even when things don't go perfectly as I planned, like my little specimen jars. Some of these came out really well. This one I made as a joke, and I actually kind of like it. I think it's probably the funniest one that I made. It's only feats, because it's only feats. This one came out really well. This was my test one, and I think this was actually the best one that I did. And then I got the little labels on the top. But like, this one came out pretty well. You know, you got a nice clear finish in there with the bones. This one I think came out okay. Come on, there we go. So it's pretty clear too. All the bones are, you know, they're in there. This one did not come out as well as I had hoped. I tried to dye the resin for this one, and it made everything really murky. Like, it didn't look murky when I put the color in, but when it fully dried and cured, it's real murky. And unfortunately, I think I put too much color in because the glow-in-the-dark ants don't glow anymore, so you lost the fun of the gamma ants. And then this one, these two skulls at the top absolutely would not stay pushed down. I pushed them down a couple times every hour, and they just instantly floated back up. This one stayed fine, so I don't really know what the problem was there. But then both of these also did not want to stay down. So I ended up, unfortunately, damaging the toes and some of the little fingies, but I think it still looks okay. And then this is the last one. And this one had a whole bunch of little bubbles coming out from under his tummy, so I just put the label there. But I think it still looks okay. So, you know, I put all of this effort into stuff, and if it takes a really long time, I hope people feel like it's worth it, you know? I also don't really do repeat pieces, so that's another reason that everything takes kind of a while. Because, you know, if I'm not feeling super creative, I'm not going to be able to make new stuff, because I don't want to just make the same things over and over again. That's just not fun. Hold on. My stream looks okay. Let me put this here so I can figure out how behind it is. Alright. So, it's not super behind. I'm not getting super laggy. I think OBS is struggling. My internet is fine, because when my internet isn't fine, I get all kinds of notifications, and I haven't. So, it's not that. Painted my mat. Oh well, that's what it's there for. Yeah, so this is going to be sort of a simpler piece. I'm not really doing anything crazy fancy with it. I just want to put the little skull on it and then the light in the middle behind the skull. And I may end up not even cutting it and just... Yeah. My bad. I can't zoom my camera out anymore, unfortunately. That's as far back as it'll go. So it looks a little goofy right now. Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for joining. I will go back to painting small things after I get the base coat down on the canvas. I'm just sort of rotating through things so that as one piece is drying, I'm still working on other pieces, just to keep things moving. I am, yeah. So this one, let go. This is gonna go on the front once I finish carving all of the bits out and get it sanded nice and smooth. I'm going to glue that down here, and then I'm going to put a light behind it with an LED candle so that it'll have like a nice flickering light. Yeah, and then that's all I'm going to do with this one. So it is simpler than what I usually make. I tend to go pretty elaborate with the things that I make. But I think that's just, you know, the ADD brain not being able to slow down and do one thing at a time. Yeah. 3D interactive, yep. Yeah, the next canvas piece that I have planned, kind of like my jars, is going to be utilizing random cut off pieces from other projects. I'm gonna use some paper clay to give like a cement kind of effect onto the canvas, and then I'm going to stick little pieces, hands and arms and things like that, coming out of it. So it's like little arms coming out of a wall. So that one will also be 3D interactive. Yeah, this is the boring part though, is just getting paint on canvas so that I have a base for it. I don't know if it's... yeah, you can still see through it pretty well. So the paint that I mixed is not super opaque, so you can see through to what it's going to have as well, which is just a little spiderweb motif. Alright. If I weren't trying to hide my face, I could move the camera somewhere else where you wouldn't just be looking at purple while I do this, but I have gross, angry red allergy eyes right now. So I'm just covering the edges really quick, and then I will set this aside and we can go back to our little mushrooms. Oops, this is side number 3. I have one more side to do. Still gotta do this last side. Yeah, I actually, I'm kind of shopping around right now with some artists to try and decide if I want to try and draw my own PNG or if I want to commission one. Yeah, because I've been watching a few VTubers lately, and it got me thinking that that would be a really nice thing to have on no face cam days, so that I have something else kind of interactive up there for people to look at. Oh, hell yeah. If you want to send me a message through Discord, or even like put it in my Discord, you can link them in the art channel if you want. I will definitely check them out later. Alright, so this is pretty well and truly covered for now. I'm going to set it off to the side. Oh no. There we go. Okay. Get any wet paint off of my hands before I start picking up the little mushies. Okay, back to the mushrooms. So these should all be relatively dry now. Oops, I dripped water on this one. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. Alright, so I wanted to do one in green, one in purple, and one in orange. Yeah, definitely. Because I want something. You know? I feel like it's just not as, I don't get as much engagement when it's not a really interactive stream. So I think that that would definitely help. Oh, I got a squirrel looking for food. Hey, Bone. We feed our squirrelies peanuts. It keeps them out of the bird feeders. Alright, so... Oh no, this is getting a little thick. I may need to remix that. But I think that this one is probably close enough to what I wanted. So we'll just we'll just do this one. because that's looking a little goopy. I hope my green is okay. Yeah, the green still looks okay. Needs a little bit of a mix, but oh, here's my stick. We'll set that over there. I think the orange is probably going to need a little mix too, but it should be okay. Because this is a newer one. I mixed this one more recently. Yeah, this is not as gooey. That purple one I think is just a little too old. Which is fine. Paints don't last forever. So, alright. We'll do the purple one first. Let's see, which one am I going to make purple? Let's do the tall one purple. We'll do the little roundy one orange because it's a little bit more pumpkin shaped. Alright. This might have been a little bit darker than I wanted. That's okay, I can lighten the next coat. Although, you know what? I need it a little bit dark to cover my mess underneath. So maybe this is perfect. And this one is nice and opaque, unlike the last purple. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, I actually saved a whole bunch of petals, actually most of the petals. My grandma sent me roses after I had a hysterectomy in February. And I saved all of the petals because I know you can use rose petals to dye fabric. So I have plans to dye fabric with all of the petals that I saved, and they were red roses, so the petals turned a gorgeous deep purple as they dried. And I believe that the color that you get out of rose petals is kind of like a wine color, so it's not really purple, but it's not really red either. It's like a really deep burgundy, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like I remember reading that somewhere, but I want it to be kind of a surprise what color I'm gonna get, so when I confirmed with a textile artist friend that rose petals can be used to dye fabric, I specifically asked not to know what color they were gonna be. So that's gonna be a fun experiment. And I'm not sure if that's one I'm gonna be able to do on stream or not. I've been trying to figure out if there is a way that I can do that, but I have to boil the petals in a pot of water for a while, so I'm not really sure how I would stream that. I think maybe if I prepped it properly, I could boil them ahead and then when they're ready start the stream, but I don't know how exciting it would be because it's just a lot of stirring fabric in hot boiling rose petal water. I mean, it's going to be exciting for me, but I don't know that that would be something people would want to tune in and watch, you know? That one might be better to record and just stick it straight to YouTube. And then that way I can cut out the boring stuff and just get right to, you know, here's the fabric, let me stick it in the water, and then however many minutes later take it out and see what it looks like. Alright, so I feel like this gray is probably too dark now that I'm looking at it with the pastels. So I think what I'm going to do is get the pastels on here, mix an even lighter gray, and then put another coat on there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would potentially be down to meet up with other Ohio streamers. I think that could be really fun. My only issue is that I can't drive for medical reasons, so I would have to plan ahead enough that I can get somebody to be my driver. Although Casey, if Casey was in, yup, same thoughts, right as that comment popped up. Casey would probably not mind picking me up for that, if she were going to do it as well. Okay, my green, here's my green. I'll do green next. Actually, no, this is the one that's probably going to affect the water the most because it's got kind of a dark pigment in it. So let me do orange first. And if this comes out as light as I think it's going to, it's probably going to need its own brush. Yeah, Akron wouldn't be too bad. Okay, yeah, this is super light. Is this even going to cover this gray? Ooh, it's going to need a few coats. I don't want to make it darker though, because this is a really pretty color, and I want to use this color. I actually thought about mixing up a bigger pot of this orange to do my background on my canvas, but I think that I want the canvas to be darker, so that it'll be, what is the word, a higher contrast with the candle behind the skull. Oh my gosh, these are going to be so cute. Little spooky mushrooms. No, just Halloweeny. Not bad, just Halloweeny. I am going to paint little itty bitty skulls on them instead of polka dots. So that'll be fun. Alright, there's one coat of orange, which is getting super blown out by my camera for some reason. And now I'm looking at it for a third time. I'm like, you know, the gray is not too dark. I kind of like it. I think it works. So I don't think I am going to lighten the gray. We're going to leave that exactly as it is. Oops, not purple. I already did purple. We need to do green. I'm gonna mix my green. I definitely need to mix up some more of this after my stream today, because this is getting very low. Yeah, if you eat these mushrooms, you're just going to see dancing skeletons. That's all. Alright, I think my music is stopped, so let me restart my playlist. Oops. Full screen, please. Thank you. I don't know what you're talking about. A dancing skeleton is the best kind of honor. Ooh, that was too much. A little too much paint on that brush. And I just noticed this was the one I was going to do orange because it was pumpkin shaped, but that's okay. I feel like I may end up adding these as a regular thing in my shop, maybe. Kind of like the Spooky Cupies, where I only made a few just to do them. And then I ended up really enjoying making them. So now I just continuously make them. And I try to make as many unique, different designs of them as I can, but the skeleton ones really are my favorite to make, so that's why I make so many of those. They're my favorite and they sell really well. So every now and then I do make things with the intent of making money. Usually I do it just to keep me sane because I don't have anything else to do all day. But sometimes. Oh, that's cool. Oh my god. Hi, birds. I don't know if I can move my camera without breaking it, but they are right on the edge of the window right now. I guess they're probably looking for food too. My bird feeders are a little bit low right now, but I don't feel like filling them, so. Alright. That's the first coat down. Now, do one more of each color. Oh, the squirrels are back. Hello. More peanuts. There you go. Okay. Oh, that's a cool idea. I like that idea. Yeah. Oops. I'm not using this because it's goopy. That's right. Yeah, I do the punk rock flea markets in North Olmsted, so there are a few people there who do different kinds of things with records. And I mean the vast array of damaged and unplayable, but otherwise perfectly attractive looking records out there. I'm kind of surprised more people don't do record crafting of some kind. Yes, yeah, exactly. That's definitely a unique take on that. I love that idea, honestly. That's really, really creative. Yeah, I went to a miniatures show recently, and one of the vendors there made little 1/12 scale record sleeves and records and all kinds of like music themed little decorations for a house. And it just kind of got me thinking, if I were ever going to make like, oh, I get just a little bit of paint on here. If I were ever going to make something like that, that would be such an easy way to make really good money, because just by having a good selection, it's a lot of guaranteed sales from people who make miniature displays, because it's one of those things that absolutely you could make that yourself, but taking the time to miniaturize things to be the exact proper scale and then getting them printed nicely on nice paper that's not going to degrade over time, and then folding them and gluing them and putting them into packaging. I mean, it is a lot of work, but it's one of those things that people like, and they absolutely could make themselves, but they probably won't. I mean, because even I bought a couple of them, and I don't really do 1/12 scale displays. I do 1/6 scale. But I just thought they were the coolest things. I was like, if I ever do a 1/12 display, this will be the coolest thing to have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to invest a whole lot, and you get good returns from it. Which, again, I don't generally make things with profit in mind, but ouch. Every so often, my mind does go there. Oh, that's funny. I see that little fuzzy in there. Come out of there. There we go. These are so cute already. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy with these. I'm gonna have to immediately go order several more packs of these little mushrooms. These would be so easy to do so many different things with, too. Like, I could do a set of Mario mushrooms. Halloween ones I've already got. I could do a bunch of different kinds of things for Halloween. I could do all orange ones and give them different jack-o'-lantern faces. That would be kind of fun. I could do little ghosty ones. Yeah, I'm gonna order a whole bunch more of these. These are so cool. Alright, I feel like that's a mostly even coat. I can kind of still see gray through it on the bottom, so I may do one more coat of the orange, just because it's not as dark as the other two, so it's not covering that gray as well. And then I will touch up the orange, or not the orange, touch up the gray where the colors have kind of overlapped it. And then start putting on the little scully spots. Oh no, I just touched that with orange paint. Oh my gosh. I'm a mess. That's okay. Acrylic paint covers itself spectacularly. There. Good as new. Nobody will ever know. Except for the people who watch my stream. Not at the moment, but that does give me more ideas for mushrooms I could paint. I could do some little tie-dye designs. That would be super fun. Which one? This one. This one needs the second coat. Biddies! Thank you for the biddies. My first bits. I don't have any redeems up yet. I'm sorry. I'm slacking. I was trying to get them set up and it just wasn't connecting for some reason. So I probably need to watch the tutorial that I was watching again more slowly. I'll get it figured out. Probably before the next stream. I should have some redeems up and ready. But yeah, I couldn't get it to connect to Twitch not Twitch, to OBS. So I wasn't sure if it would work if it wasn't connected to OBS. So I just didn't activate them yet. But I'm working on it. So I'm gonna have some that I will record, some that are just kind of memey, and then I'm gonna try and get some from Little Misfortune because it's one of my favorite games ever. Which kind of makes me feel like I'm copying Mortish Noir a little bit because she has a bunch of Little Misfortune redeems, but it's just such a good game. I love it. And it was one of the first games that I actually finished on my channel, so oh, perfect. I will check that out too then. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just struggling to get things set up because I'm not a very tech savvy person. I've never done any of this kind of stuff before. So I'm watching these tutorials on YouTube trying to figure everything out, and the people that are doing these tutorials are like 20-year-old kids. And they're talking about how easy this is. And I'm like, okay, you know, I really didn't feel like a boomer until I started watching your tutorial, but thanks, because this is not easy. Yes, yeah, I would actually, I would love some help with that. I couldn't get any of the bots that I was trying to set up to work either. Um, yeah, I'm gonna give it another shot over the weekend. That's my plan anyway. I'm gonna spend a couple hours on Saturday and then again on Sunday working on starting to get actual uploads on my YouTube again. And then on top of that, I also want to finish getting my Twitch setup done, because all I've managed to do was set up the payment thing. And I made a throne, but I couldn't get that to work with Stream Elements, so it doesn't link. I have to figure out how to get my Discord linked through Stream Elements so that I can put that up during streams. And then I have to get all of my sound alerts going. Yeah, okay. I definitely may be hitting you up this weekend then when I'm sitting down trying to figure that out if I get stuck, because I do not know what I'm doing. Like, I just have to remind people that I didn't have internet in my house at all until I was like 17. I didn't grow up with internet like a lot of millennials did, so all of these things that are supposed to be easy for people my age are not actually easy for me. And had I realized what a disadvantage it was going to put me at in the future, I may have made more of a stink about getting internet in the house earlier. But I didn't feel like we needed it. So, yeah. Okay. There we go. Nice clean surface. Mix it up, bot. Oh. Oh, that makes sense. That's smart. Okay. Alright, I will do it that way then. I won't use Stream Elements. I definitely know I don't want to use OBS because it just breaks everything trying to use OBS for anything that isn't streaming or recording. Which again is more than likely user error, but regardless of what the actual cause is, I just know that it doesn't tend to work in my favor to try and use OBS to actually do things. Alright, we're gonna fix this edge here. Yeah, that would be super helpful. Thank you. Okay. What's my time at? We're at 5. Okay. So, I've got about another half hour. That should be just enough time to finish the mushrooms. I'm glad I remembered that I bought these because I almost forgot about them. And this is, I think, going to be much more fun to watch than just painting a canvas. Oops, let me set it back a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to want to do one more coat on the underside of this orange because there's still like little patchy bits of gray that I can see through it. But the top is looking great. Okay. Oh, my gray is drying out a little bit. I definitely put too much in the palette, but that's okay. These little tubes of paint are pretty inexpensive. Thankfully, they're inexpensive. As I started my stream with my rant on how I'm gonna just keep buying my art supplies on AliExpress and Temu because I'm poor. So, yeah, it's a good thing they're not expensive. Which is why when I started out streaming, I mostly did painting because paint is cheap. I bought a whole bunch of mini canvases and I just painted mini canvases for several streams. I've actually just uncovered several of those mini canvases that I put away in a safe place and couldn't find for a while. So now that I have found those, I will put some of those up in my shop soon. I'm going to offer them with the option of a magnet back, because the way that I use mini canvases is when I do my doll photography, they have a magnet on the back, and then I put a second magnet on the back of my backdrop, and then I can hang them like actual paintings on a wall. Alright, that's looking pretty good. This one, I think I want to do one more coat of the green too, because it's just not as opaque as I would like it to be. So I'm going to do one more coat of green and orange, and then while those are drying, I will paint the spots on the purple one. Where did I put my little, oh, it's this one. Okay, now I just want to do one more coat on the underside of this one, just to cover those last bits of gray that are still visible. Oops. Oh, that's all right. I got the tiniest little bit of orange down there, but I can fix it. Because again, acrylic paint covers acrylic paint beautifully. All right, perfect-ish. Perfect enough, because nobody's really going to look at the bottom. I just want to have no, like, super obvious paint marks anywhere. Alright, I am happy with that. I can't see any more gray around the... Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon. I see a little bit of gray around the edges right here. So we'll just cover that edge a little better. Alright, now it looks perfect. Alright, put that one there. Next. Okay. Oops, I almost dipped it into the purple. Whoopsies. The Chaos Goblins are active today, trying to make me mess up. I hear a red-winged blackbird outside. The only birds that feel the need to announce their presence every time they come to the feeder. And if we ever do manage to find a house and move, there's going to be no animal distractions on my streams anymore. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but not streaming directly next to my patio door where I hear birds and see squirrels and all of the critters come to visit and I get endless distractions all day. It would be very different. Alright, this one is getting a little goopy too. It's very thick paint. No blue-footed boobies. No, I do have tufted titmice though. That's a fun one. My mom refuses to call them titmice. She calls them mouse birds. There we go. Okay. This one looks much more opaque. I am happy with that. Okay. Now, for the fun part of putting teeny tiny little skull-shaped polka dots all over these mushrooms. Let me clean my mat again. Oop. All right. Now, let me think what's the easiest way to do this going to be. I think if I use one of my super teeny detail brushes. This is the itty bittiest, teeny weeniest brush. I want my second smallest. There's my second smallest. Oh no, this may be the tiniest actually. sorry, just comparing really quick because I do want nice tiny brushes for this. Okay, now I think the easiest way to do this is just going to be, oops, to make little dots and then add a little tooth shape. If that makes any sense. It makes sense to me. Alright. Now we're going to start with purple and uncover my brushes. And just make a little circle. Actually, I think I want to make them a little bigger. So maybe I will start them off with a bigger brush. Let's do this one. Which is not a significantly bigger brush, but bigger enough, I hope. Just trying to make a roundish kind of a shape here. Alright, and then oops, I need the tiny one. I'll put you down for a second. Give me a tiny brush. And we'll do little teeth. I don't know, does it look like a skull? I feel like it doesn't look too much like a skull. Maybe I'm gonna turn it into a spider. Because the skull didn't work the way that I wanted it to. So we're gonna do this as a spider instead. We'll give it 1, 2, 3, 4 little leggies. And now it just looks like an eye. Oh dear, we will fix this. Bringing it back around. 1, 2, 3, 4 little leggies on the other side. There we go. We got a little spider. Alright, that'll work. The skull didn't quite work out the way I wanted, so we'll make this one have spider spots. Alright, we'll do next one here. Okay. And little leggies. We'll turn this one this way. Here's one leggy. Oop, not enough paint on there. One little leggy. 2 little leggies. 3 little leggies, 4 little leggies. Now it really looks like it's got eyes. Slightly lopsided eyes, but eyes. One, two, 3, 4 little leggies. Next, do this one up a little more. Oops. Smooth that out a bit. Okay. Leg. 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 Let's fix that one. That one's a funky looking leg. There we go. It's a little better. Ew, a real little buggy. A little gnat. Terrible timing. Leg. 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 Oh, that's not a very spidery looking spider. It's fine. I'm not going to worry too much about it. These are so small. It's fine if they're not perfect. It looks worse on the camera because it's zoomed in. See, down here, it looks fine. Totally fine. It's not totally fine, but I'm going to ignore it anyway. This one got way too big, way too fast. Whoops. It's fine. It's fine. Not perfect, but fine. Okay. Leg. 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 Oop. There we go. Alright, I got room for one more. Put it right here. I'll turn this one kind of sideways. Leg. 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 Alright, now do a row of slightly smaller ones above these. Leg, 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 leg. Oh, it's much easier to do the little ones. I should have done the other ones small too, but that's okay. And I made this one too big. I'm just not going to let myself be bothered by it. I'm not going to let it bother me. We'll just turn it into legs. 2, 3, 4. There we go. It is a little watery. Oh no. I feel like that's better. It was kind of dripping a bit. I can't have one at the top dripping into the other ones. Leg, 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 leg. I'll do one more. Leg, 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 leg. There. Spiders. Okay. Cute. There's one. I like that song. It's ZZ Top. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Which one's next? Let's do green next. I'm gonna try again to make the skulls work. Let's see if I can get a better circle going to start with. Okay. Yeah, let's try this again. Still not really reading as a skull, but I think I know how to fix it. I'm not making the skull part big enough, I think, is the problem. So let's make this. Yeah, now it's a little skull. Okay. Bigger circle. What did I just say? about needing to make it bigger, and then I didn't. Alright, and then we'll do little, there we go, little tooth, 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 and our little skull. Oops, I'm getting a lot of paint on this. Gonna end up with big chunky teeth. There we go. Nice and clean. Let's try it again. One little tooth, two little teeth. Oops. Three little teeth. There we go. Okay. And now I'm just getting a lopsided spot here. Come on. Bring this circle back around. What is this brush all of a sudden not cooperating? Make a round circle. There we go. It's probably too wet again. That's probably what it was. Okay. Nice and round. Little tooth, little tooth, little tooth. And another one. Oh, I'll paint myself. And then that'll leave room for one more. Right in between these two. And do little tooth, little tooth, little tooth. Oops. Come on, there we go. And the last little teeth on my little skull. Alright. There we go. It's got little skulls. Now I am going to go back and with a little dotter tool put teeny little dots for eyes in the skull with the light green. It's just easier to not put them on at first. So there's that one. There's 2 out of 3. Now this last one. What to do with this one? I did spiders, I did skulls. I could do little bats. Let's do little bats. Put a little circle body. Get a like a wing shape. And then bring 1, 2, 3. Bats are going to be a little more time consuming, but I think it'll be fun. It'll be worth it. Get a little wing shape going. And 1, 2, 3 points. A little bat. And we'll give it 1, 2 little points for ears. Alright. Do another little bat. Put this one a little higher up. Little wing shape. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, I think the second one's coming out better. And little wing shape. And 1, 2, 3. And we'll give it little ears. There's 2. And I think we're going to have room for 1 more. Oops. This one's going to be a chunky bat. That's fine. And a little wing shape. Oops. It's also going to have chunky wings. I need to clean this brush. There's too much paint on there. There we go. Let's try that again. We'll go 1, 2, 3. Oh, now it's too wet. Okay. Ooh, this last one's giving me a lot of trouble. Let's do this again. Wing shape. And 1, 2, 3 points. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Alright, that's going to be the end of those. I think my playlist has stopped, but we are at 5:30, which is my cutoff time. So, that's good timing. I'm going to call the stream for today, because actually all I have left to do anyway is to put the second coat onto my canvas to fill in all of these spots that aren't quite opaque enough yet. And that's not the most exciting thing to watch. So, okay, so I'm not streaming this weekend because my plan is to get my YouTube catch up starting. So I'm gonna start putting the old VODs that I haven't been uploading onto YouTube. I'm going to try and schedule a few of them out so that I have, you know, a few days worth of videos ready to go. And lost my train of thought. Scheduling videos on YouTube. Right, and also try and get my alerts and stuff set up for Twitch. So I will be back streaming next week, possibly. I don't know because I have family coming in to visit, and I don't know when I'm going to get time to stream. But I will try and do the usual 2 streams. They may just both be quick, short gaming streams when I have an hour or 2 at a time. So there's no official schedule, basically. Alright, let me see who is on right now that I can raid out to. Come on. Get off of the creator dashboard so I can see who is live. Oh, Tish is doing Midnight Ghost Hunt. Okay, we will go raid Tish. That is a fun game. I want to play that on stream at some point with friends, so I may post that in my Discord as an option, not next week, but the week after. If there is a day that works better for everybody, we will likely stream it, but I may also just do it as an off stream, just Discord game day. Alright, let me raid. Make sure that I have got it spelled right. Alright. Raid has been created. Yes, I will get in touch with you if I get stuck and I need help. But yeah, there we go. Raid created. Okay. That's my plan anyway. Hopefully we'll get it set up.